They're gonna finally kill off the website.
I'm not ready.
Elite Performance Industries has the cure to your Week 13 blues with EPI Speedweek from Five Flags and Volusia. We had Miatas and Street Stocks in Pensacola last night, but we're kicking off the dirt portion of our program tonight with Legends and Midgets at Volusia Speedway Park. Welcome to Pit Stop TV for EPI Speed Week, kicking off tonight from the, continuing, I should say, from the virtual Volusia Speedway Park in Barberville, Florida. Thanks so much for joining us. My name is Andrew Cardinale IV with Emerson Arden alongside, and once more, we have two races on the docket this evening, Emerson, but very different cars compared to last night. Gone are the Miatas and Street Stocks. Here are the Dirt Legends to open the track tonight with midgets to follow. 40 laps per race. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. We got some fun little cars in the Dirt Legends to kick things off here. 40 laps on the Volusia Speedway Park. Should be a fun time. These things, they sound fantastic. They really can rip on this dirt track. Can't wait.
Yeah, some would say they sound fantastic. Some would say they sound a little annoying. These legends, they definitely buzz. They sound like some hornets going around the racetrack, but we are here and ready to go racing this evening, and so glad to be doing it with all of you here, and of course with Elite Performance Industries. Let's take a look at our track map for this evening. Volusia Speedway Park, it is very much an oval, a D-shaped oval with the rounded part of the D on the back straightaway, as opposed to most NASCAR tracks that have the curved front stretch. So a little bit different in that regard, and well, we do actually have a U.S. Legend Car lap time, a fast lap time here. The fastest lap, and this might actually vary a little bit, but the fastest lap, at least on iRacing's records, says a 19.513, and that seems a little bit slow. Well, no, actually, it's about a 10th up on these guys' best laps, but some of these last lap times, I guess, are a little bit off. So, just looking at the session, it seems like we're right on the money. We're right at that mid-19 mark, and I wonder if these guys can find a little extra speed, as McCullum currently tops the practice charts.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be a little difficult to do so here, because they these legends can only go so fast, but maybe there's something to do with the line coming out of 2 or into 3.
The car's on track, as I just mentioned, for practice. Let's go ahead and bring up the practice order on the left side of your screen. If ATVO catches up to us here, actually practice is wrapping up anyways, so it's not going to do a whole lot. There it is, finally. McCullum on top of the board over Boniface, Folds, Maines, Kemp, Ryan Matthews, and Jonathan Coombs. It looks like Angel Ortega will make the field as well. So we'll have 8 cars this evening. Once again, Mario Ercolani in that number 41 car is our admin. So glad to have him doing so, as we will roll right on into the 5-minute qualifying portion of tonight's show. And Emerson, it seems like we're having a couple of graphic difficulties with these cars getting on track, and they do have 5 gears, but they're not using all 5 gears tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it really does sound like we're not getting into that 5th gear or anything here. And yeah, they're running the low lane all the way out throughout the track as well. You'll see some high line here on the opening lap to get that speed going, but shortest way around here, just because there's not really much to be gained really working your way up the track until that bottom part gets slicked off.
Well, there is Alex McCullum currently on track in car 1. And as we sort out the graphics issue with ATVO, we will kind of do our best here. Michael Folds in car 3, a bit of a different look compared to last night, but he was quick. He won the Miata race at Five Flags last night in dominating fashion over guys like Alex McCullum and I believe it was Chris Cryer. And should be good again tonight with the Legends as he works around the track in car 3.
It'll be provisional pole there for Michael Folds. Looks like he will start slowing here, so we'll catch up to the 51 here of Ryan Matthews.
Ryan Matthews, of course, out of Virginia, a local racer to Dominion Raceway and Langley Speedway. Track champion, I believe, at both now. In car 51 usually runs a late model stock or pro late model, limited late model as, there we go, graphics coming back up. We should be good to go. But yeah, Ryan Matthews, very much in the late model scene in the Virginia area, of course, with North Carolina and South Carolina. So I believe he's made some Cars Tour starts as Matthews qualified as 6th, a little off pace in qualifying, but we'll see if he gets a little faster throughout the night.
Yeah, we saw, well, I was going to say Alex McCullum did not take that first time lap, but now goes to top of the charts. It's provisional pole for Alex McCullum. I was a little concerned with why he came to a stop there before the start finish line last we saw, but there it is, updating. New fastest lap there at 19.635, and only Angel Ortega left to go.
We'll see Ortega make his lap. Well, we'll see Ortega's time here, at least where he lines up by the beginning of the race. I will mention, I'm going to be entirely honest with you. It seems like iRacing, and I don't think this has anything to do with the build, but iRacing decided to break ATVO up a little bit. And of course, if you are out there watching, obviously we're having a couple of issues right now. We're getting those fixed very, very quickly. Let us know what your favorite part of today's iRacing build is. Of course, the 2023 Season 1 update dropping earlier today. This morning, downtime was scheduled for 8 a.m., and it took until, what, about 2 p.m. Eastern? So it took a little while, but that's honestly pretty normal for a build this size. We have a couple of new cars, a couple of new tracks. I think we actually have 3 new cars: the Mercedes AMW or AMG. I don't know why I said AMW. AMG W13 Formula 1 car, and then also the BMW V8 LMDH car, and of course we got the Toyota GR86. And then on the dirt side, if you're here for dirt racing specifically, well, we got Lincoln Speedway today, one of my favorite dirt tracks actually to have ever gone to. That's my first dirt track that I ever worked at for Pit Road TV, so it's pretty cool to get that kind of piece of my personal history on the sim as it joined the sim literally today. That was very, very cool to see. And of course, also added was Magny Cours, a fantastic road course out in France, and kind of expanding things there for road racing. But Emerson, I guess what would be your personal highlight then in all of that?
Well, as soon as it was announced, I have been steadfast on getting it the day it came out. The BMW V8 LMDH, when it was announced for in real life competition. I loved the renderings, looked beautiful, and when I heard it was coming to iRacing, I was just so psyched to try it out. Was able to get it today, ran some laps at Daytona Road Course. It's a blast. A more difficult car to drive than the LMP2, but it's a lot of fun, and can't wait to get it going in some races today, later today.
And I know EPI has gotten more involved slowly on the road racing side of things. As it's very much short track based. Tyler Payne is a short track kind of guy, but I know they're kind of getting into some more road racing setups. And I wonder if the Toyota GR86 Cup car might actually make its way to the setup list for EPI, Elite Performance Industries, at some point, because I think that would be a really cool kind of car to get into. It seems like a very much base level kind of car, and if they work all the way up to the BMW LMDH car, that'd be awesome as well. But I really enjoy slower cars that are a lot of fun to just kind of wheel around a racetrack, so I enjoy that Toyota GR86 that dropped earlier today. Hopefully that makes it to the website at some point in that regard. A big thank you to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, allowing us to do this kind of broadcast. Of course, we're having some issues now, getting those fixed momentarily, but the SimWrap Market, simwrapmarket.com, Whiplash Media, SimCams, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine as the session gets ready. I believe it just ticked over into the race session, but we should be back in momentarily. The good time is a load time for Volusia with 8 cars on track is not the worst, so it should just be a brief moment before we're actually back in the sim. Emerson, have you ever run these cars here? I know you've said you've only run them a couple of times in your iRacing career, but they are pretty fun.
This car is a blast. I've not ran it at Volusia. I've ran it at Knoxville, though, so another, pretty large half mile. And you can really sling these things. You just get an angle for the corner, and you let her eat. It is a blast. These drivers are going to have a good time tonight. And that's what this is all about, right? We're all here to have some fun on week 13 and, kind of run some combinations that maybe don't get as much love here in the sim. And I think this is a great event. Can't wait to see what these drivers are able to do with these bad boys.
Well, it took us a moment, but you can see the sim is back on screen, so trust the process. It eventually works out, even if it takes a moment. Let's go ahead and go through your Whiplash SimCams starting grid here at Volusia Speedway Park. On pole, Alex McCullum in car 1. Matthew Boniface will start from the 2nd position, starting 3rd. Michael Folds in car 3. Jeff Kemp will start from the outside of row number 2. It's interesting because he's scored in car 51, but of course Ryan Matthews will have car 51 on the side of his car. So I guess we have 2 51 cars in the field. Garrett Maines, eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Series driver, will start from the 5th position tonight in car 43. Jonathan Coombs from position 6. Starting 7th, we'll find Ryan Matthews. and Angel Ortega will round out our 8-car field. It is a light field, let's be honest, but we have some really, really big-time competitors. I mean, Alex McCall on pole. Boniface should be quick. Fold should be quick. I'm not sure about Jeff Kemp. I don't know him yet, but of course, Garrett Maines starting from 5th, and even Ryan Matthews in the 7th spot. We have some stat competition even in only an 8-car field.
Absolutely. We saw the times. They were getting very, very close towards the end of practice there, which was starting to get Andrew and I very intrigued for the race. We feel it's going to be very competitive. We had 5 drivers hit into the 19.6s, and should be very fun tonight. I think we're going to see this field close up a lot, see a lot of overtakes, and these cars kind of try to lean on one another.
Let's take a look at our conditions in sim weather. It's actually pretty warm, 85 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a warm day down here in Barberville, Florida, even into the night, but the track temp is nice and cool, and that's not really a concern anyways on dirt. But the winds out of the east, they're staying a bit breezy, staying a bit gusty, just as they were last night, but nothing too crazy, right around the 10-mile-per-hour mark. And Emerson, I don't know that the same bet is going to count, but just in case, Zach Murtis was bet if he gave us a good boogity at one point, he would get a chicken sandwich. Do you want to take that on, or do you want to give it a shot?
You know, let's give her a go, right?
Once they work out a turn number 4, Mike is yours.
Racing.com, safety vehicle finds its safety in pit lane, and boogity. Let's go dirt racing at Volusia, boys.
Oh, 3 wide already, and I think that was Kemp getting into one car, but they sorted out through turn number 2, and, well, they don't. One car backwards into Jonathan Coombs. We're already under caution on lap 1 of 40, but that was certainly a good boogity. Ryan Matthews made a bit of a bet, like I said. Or not Ryan Matthews, Tyler Payne made a bit of a bet with Zach Murtis on the call last night. But let's go back and see what happened here on lap 1, and it looks like it's going to be off the nose of Ryan Matthews, actually, in car 51 that I was unintentionally bringing up there as through turns 1 and 2. Right there, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, the start got very crazy very quickly. We saw them fan out. This track with Dirt Legends fairly wide, so we saw 3, almost 4 wide going into that first corner here up ahead. A little contact up ahead there to check up, and Ryan Matthews trying to shoot the gap there, and just meeting there with Jonathan Coombs as well. Just chaos there on the start with 8 cars. It was surely looking like cars everywhere when they headed in turn number 1.
And 1 car is pitting, which is not what I expected at all, but Jeff Kemp is in the pit lane. Wonder if he grabbed a fast repair. I don't recall actually having fast repairs last night, so I'm not sure what that was about, but Kemp gets out of the pit lane just ahead of Angel Ortega, which has, well, he has the number 3 on his car, scored in car 9. But anyways, these guys have a bit of fun tonight with paint schemes maybe, as Ortega goes way up the racetrack here. I know kind of a slow start to the night, but we can at least use this opportunity to take a look at what else we have coming up this week. Of course, there's a lot of racing for EPI Speed Week tomorrow night. Big block modifieds and 410s right back here before Thursday. We have a doubleheader here on the channel. It's trucks at 5 Flags for EPI Speed Week. And look at that, GT3 cars from VIR on one of the final opportunities we'll have to witness this current version of VIR on the sim.
Absolutely, a very historic VIR that we get to do here with the North American Racing League on Thursday. Should be a lot of fun there. Oak Tree, of course, getting to see it one last time in its sim form, and we're coming to the restart here.
Out of turn number 4, McCullum gets them back going. Lap 4, we're back underway. A much cleaner start that time as we work down the back straightaway to turn number 3. Jeff Kemp to the inside of Michael Folds. This is a side-by-side for 3rd spot as Garrett Maines has 2nd behind race leader Alex McCullum out front.
Boniface dropping through the running. Oh, we got a car in the wall back there. I believe that was Ryan Matthews. But Boniface was looking to the outside there of Michael Folds. They made contact last lap, and he steadily dropped his way through the field. Folds holding station there in the 3rd position.
Watch these guys continue on. A bit of a side-by-side towards the rear of the field. But up front, Garrett Maines starting to put a little bit of pressure ahead on Alex McCullum. I wonder if he's going to be able to get there, Emerson, or if this is going to be a McCullum kind of race.
Well, McCullum out in front has command of it. Maines, he looked like he lost a little bit of touch there coming out of 2, but he steadily gains it back there in the 3. Closing the gap now, really trying to get to the rear end of McCullum there, kind of, fill up the mirror and get McCullum thinking.
As you can see, we're having graphics issues again. I'll be entirely honest, just like I was earlier. This is a new one for us. This is... I don't know. ATVL is having a moment. The lap counter is still going, thankfully, but the ticker, I think, is a little bit off. But regardless, you can see these guys still battling in the first, second, and third positions. Folds getting a little bit closer. And it's kind of a waiting game as these guys tick off the laps. Obviously, 40 laps is a bit of a longer race for Legends on dirt, but still plenty of time to get this track worn in.
Absolutely. Going to try to see here. You see these guys, they're kind of favoring the bottom side here at Volusia. So we'll see if that bottom side starts to slick up and these guys have to start searching for some grip. That does tend to happen.
Oh, Fold just got the fence pretty good out of turn 4 that time. Opens the door for Kemp on the bottom side. And Kemp will absolutely try and take that opportunity to take that position away. That, again, would be for third position. Kemp not able to take advantage, though.
That does is it kind of allows Garrett Maines to get out ahead. Because before, Garrett Maines also was having to think about Michael Folds directly behind, trying to overtake him for second. But now that Folds kind of has to deal with the 51 of Jeff Kemp, Garrett Maines can just size up McCullum without really any fear from behind. And there's the slider there. That is Kemp over Folds. The Folds back on through.
I think I've narrowed it down, Emerson. I know, of course, you work with the ticker here just as much as I do. It seems to be that the ticker is holding us up tonight, so I don't know if there's a way for us to avoid that or not, but, weird things sometimes happen. It is week 13. We're going to work with it as best as we can. This is an abnormal issue for us, but this is the battle for third position. Folds over Kemp with Boniface just behind.
Yeah, and Viz Battle starting to take the spotlight here. We saw Kemp with the slider last time through. That time does an attempt, but gets up to the rear end of Folds. Pass back off here down the back straight away. Folds holding station there in third, opening the door to Kemp. Can't get down there.
We're working to turn one more time, and Boniface gets closer now in this battle. And I'd like to know, actually, if anybody else out in the comments has maybe had issues with the build or any kind of overlays since, whether it's crew chief, race labs, or anything like that. I wonder if this is an issue with data being streamed out. I'd have to imagine there's some kind of issue. This was not an issue last night. We didn't have this kind of problem last night, and it's interesting that we're having it now. Regardless, battle for first and second. Garrett Maines still hounding the back end of Alex McCullum as they work down the front stretch.
And Maines continuing to just kind of pile on that pressure here. Kind of waiting for that opportunity. Maybe trying to get that track slicked up right on that line that they're currently running. See if he can get McCullum to kind of move up. Trying to get him out of his normal groove and see if there's going to be a way by there. But for now, Garrett Maines continues to stalk the one of Alex McCullum.
Well, for a moment, I have a fix here, and you'll have to bear with us, guys. For this Legends race, we're going to have our Joker ticker up. That actually has the formatting here with our new graphics, so we're not going to have deficits there on the screen for you, but it seems like that's going to work for us tonight, so we're going to roll with it. But you can see at least where everybody is on track. That's what matters the most. That's what we've got for you. iRacing, I'm not sure what has happened here tonight, but ATVO, iRacing, it does not enjoy this update together. But on board, let's go on board with Garrett Maines as we hit halfway.
And this is the hard part, right? Garrett Maines obviously very knowledgeable in a position like this, but if you're that driver directly behind the leader, you feel like you might have the faster car. You can run this a little bit better than the car in front. It's when do you make that move? You don't want to make it, too early, or you don't want to, send it too hard, maybe make contact. And then you kind of have a bigger issue on your hands, and you might, get the favorite back to you. But Maine's kind of just waiting this out, and with reason to do so. There's still a lot of laps to go, 18 laps left in this race. So now, not any time to press the panic button yet.
Well, as Garrett Maines pokes out of the bottom side, he does exactly what I was about to suggest. You want to at least test a move. Try making a move to the inside at some point, whether it's a slide job or what have you. And that time he does it. It works out for a moment, but gets crossed right back up by McCullum. Now, the only problem with that is it allows Folds to catch right back up. So it does open the door to drivers behind you catching back up. But I agree with everything he just did as far as trying a move, testing things, because you want to at least know what you're doing before you make that move to the inside for the win.
Certainly, he was there. I'm sure he was thinking about that move pretty much ever since he got to that spot. But now he has another thing to consider, because if he does that move and it gets crossed over, Michael Folds is there as well, and a failed slider could not only see him, not take the lead, but could see him fall back to third, and then he has double the trouble to try to get back to the point.
A slow car well, actually, I think it's a blinking car in Jonathan Coombs. He has blinked off of the racetrack for a moment, but our leaders continue on as Ryan Matthews has dropped out of the race, by the way, some 20 laps or so ago. So I think as a result of the lap 1 incident, as Folds caught the wall again, Emerson, and that rear bumper bar, it's a little bent up. You can't really tell there, but maybe when he goes into 3 and 4 here, he'll be able to get a shot of it from the back end of the car. That bumper bar has definitely seen the wall a couple of times. If he keeps catching the fence, he's going to have a bad day.
Yeah, certainly. And I think that might be what done Ryan Matthews in. He caught the wall pretty hard on the restart, and he ran around a couple more laps. But I think that was all she wrote for Ryan Matthews after that. But here we go. Folds looking to the inside on Maines, trying to see if he can get the run up off the corner side by side. That time, 12 laps to go.
Folds way down to the bottom side, a slide job attempt at least on Maines, and it will work out for the time being. He slides into the second spot. Garrett Maines now, the pro driver, going to take a look to the inside here of Michael Folds, and it's going to stick for car 43, but can he get him cleared? The answer is maybe, actually. He doesn't quite get him cleared. Now he should in 1 and 2.
Gets the slider off, but here comes Folds back with a run. He'll try to size him up here into turn 3. Gets a nice wide entry. Maines covers it off. McCullum starts to open the gap.
McCullum starting to drive away in car 1 as this opportunity for him to do so just presented so nicely to him by these guys fighting for second. But Maines gave it the shot, got passed back up, and now Folds wants that second spot. Had it for a moment, had to give it up.
And Folds desperately trying to get to the inside of Maines. It worked out fairly well. He was able to set it up down on the 3 and 4 end of the speedway and get it done in the 1 and 2 end. But he was passed right back, and he's going to have to do that and then, of course, block off the attack from Maines if he's going to have any go at McCullum. And it's going to happen faster because you're going to run out of time to even set up that pass if you're even thinking about the win.
Jeff Kemp has recently pulled the car into the pit lane as you saw the whole field drive by there. 6 cars still running as we will hit 7 laps to go this time by the start-finish. Really, the battle on track is all between these two. Cars 43 and 3 as McCullum might have got the fence a little bit there on the front stretch, but he hangs on to the lead. It looks like no issue for his car. And Folds got a ton of time that time through 1 and 2.
Absolutely, and Folds is now really getting into the head of Garrett Maines. Maines is continuously losing time to McCullum now. McCullum opening up that gap and kind of just setting sail here in the final 6 laps.
Back on board with car 3, Michael Folds, as he works a much higher line in the corners. You can see there you see perfectly. Garrett Maines working down the racetrack, trying to take a tighter line to the inside, but Folds is trying to get up there and push the cushion a little bit. There's really not much of a cushion, especially with legend cars, but there is at least that kind of conversion from clean racetrack to some of the marbles up there that you can lean on. I just don't think this higher line is working. I think it works in a line if you're able to draft, and there you see Folds now down to the bottom, cutting through the corner a little more. I think that's the faster line. I think while you're racing, you can defend from a higher line, but Yeah, Folds now starting to get the picture. He's way down there.
Yeah, and it's not really slicked up as I thought it would be down there. Maybe that's because of the car count, but figuring that they would be running a little bit lower on the track, and it's still a possibility because it's not all used up. Maybe there's some grip has gone away. These drivers have moved up since the start of the race, but it still looks fairly usable down there. And we're coming around this time to 2 laps to go, and the chances are going to get very few and far between for the spots to change up here.
2 to go that time by. Watching this battle from the drone here at Volusia as Garrett Maines hangs on to this advantage over Michael Folds, and the gap starts to widen up front though. Alex McCullum through turns 3 and 4. He's going to take the white flag this time by, presented by Whiplash Sim Cams. In car 1, boy, does it look good out front. It's going to look good in victory lane tonight so long as he wraps up this final half mile at Volusia. McCullum through 1 and 2 that time, nearly perfect. How about 3 and 4? It's a nice and tidy line, and while he's got dirt on the front of the car, he never really saw any action out front. Car 1 going to victory lane. He wins in the Legends race at Volusia.
And a dominant performance there from Alex McCullum. There on the last lap, and 1 and 2 Folds took a huge lunge at Maine, but was not able to get there. And that wrote that story for 2nd and 3rd. And 6 of the 8 starters finishing the race there. You see the fireworks over the back straightaway here at Volusia.
A big thank you to our partners here at Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media SimCams, SimRepMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine. Let's take a look at our unofficial race results tonight from our Legends race in EPI Speedweek. McCullum on top. That's no surprise. Garrett Maines, 2nd spot. A really good run for Garrett. You know, I didn't know what to expect seeing Garrett cross over to a Dirt Legends car, but it worked out nicely. Had a good run. Michael Folds in 3rd, Matthew Boniface there 4th, and Jonathan Coombs rounds out your top 5. You see the full list of results there as Kemp and Matthews dropped out early, and Michael Folds, I think, along with McCullum, those 2 are easily our 2 to watch for this entirety of this series throughout the course of the week. They have been up front each and every single race now, 3 races deep. So they are definitely the top of Speed Week right now. Let's go ahead and bring in Alex McCullum, who just wrapped up a race-winning effort in car number 1. He was good in the Miatas last night. Alex McCullum, race win here for the Dirt Legends. How was it out there?
It was pretty good. I knew qualifying was going to be important to get track position because we're kind of wide open all the way around. So I knew track position was going to be key, and I was able to set on the pole right there.
Now, when it comes to working on the car, I guess, in this case, is there anything you're adjusting? I know there isn't too much you can do with a Legend car for dirt racing, but is there anything you're adjusting specifically to go out there and qualify on pole as you did?
No. Whatever I qualified on was my race setup, so I didn't have a qual set there, but it was kind of a last-second deal to come run these, but it was fun. Glad I was able to come out and race these, but I don't really normally run Dirt Legends, so I was kind of like, well, I don't know what's the good, like how the car is supposed to feel or anything, but I built a lot of dirt sprint cars and a lot of dirt late models, so I kind of went into that direction, and I'd say it paid off at the end there.
It certainly seems like it did. Does this kind of open your eyes maybe back to this Dirt Legends scene? I know Tyler Payne, everybody at EPI loves Legend cars, and I know you run Legend cars, of course, in real life. Does this kind of open your eyes back to running them on dirt, though?
Yeah, actually, this was really fun. Wish we could have got a little bit more cars, but it's hard to get good car counts around this time. So, it's thankful what Tyler and you guys are doing to put these events on, and I'm looking forward to what you guys have in the future.
And Alex, I think I'd be doing your short track career a discredit if I didn't ask you how the Turkey Derby went. I saw a picture of you at Victory Lane. How was that whole weekend?
Yeah, that was pretty good. I knew we had a solid car in practice, and we went out and won the heat race. So start pole, had a good race with my teammate there in the beginning, and got the win in the first race. And then the second race we were supposed to run Sunday, and then they moved it to Saturday night, and they said it was a 12 car invert, so I had to start 12th. Drove up to second, and then the yellow came out, so we went to a complete restart. So ended up third, going from 12th to 3rd in the second race. So I'll take a 1-3 in Turkey Derby.
There you go. Average finish of second in the Turkey Derby is not a bad stat at all. Alex, congratulations tonight. Hopefully we're seeing you a whole lot more this week.
Thank you.
Alex McCullum, winner of at least one race at the Turkey Derby this year in the Legends category, wins here tonight in the Dirt Legends. Let's bring in the third place Michael Folds. Emerson, here's your third place finisher.
And Michael was giving Garrett Maines all he could handle there for that battle for second, but comes up short. Michael, walk us through that 40-lap race and what your thought process was after that restart.
Well, the initial start didn't go quite as planned. Me and Garrett decided to go for the same piece of real estate, as did probably everybody else wanted to get there as well, but we had a slight disagreement on that. I was set to call it a racing incident, but he was a little bit more unhappy than I was. But anyways, after that, got into the wall a handful of times, as you guys saw. Tried tearing it down before I quite figured out what I was doing, and I don't know, fell back, about a second or so, and just tried to reel him back in. And I'm not sure if I just showed the bottom too early or what, but I went to the bottom there and showed that it was still good. And after that, I feel like I kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to us racing that out, and just ended up in third and couldn't do anything.
It seemed like the attempts dried up there at the end, but you made a couple good sliders there on Maines. Was there anything you could have done to maybe cover off his crossovers and try to focus forward on McCullum, or what were you thinking there?
Once we all moved off the top there, when I got to their bumper and threw that slider that put me at McCullum's door, that was kind of the end of the race there. Once McCullum got back to the lead, and he just kind of picked the perfect line and ran it till the end.
There you are, third place finisher Michael Folds. Congratulations on the podium this evening, Michael, and best luck in your next race, man.
Appreciate it.
Michael Folds, always quick, it seems, here in EPI Speedweek. Good to see him quick once more tonight as he wraps up a third place finish here in the Dirt Legends. And Emerson, that was a good way to get the night started. We still have midgets coming up, but I know we've got a plethora of cars throughout the course of the week. We, of course, ran Miatas and Street Stocks last night, add Legends to what's run. So we still have midgets, big block modifieds, 410s, then pro and super late models on dirt, throw in trucks, SK modifieds, tour mods, late model stock cars, and super late models on pavement. What are you looking forward to as we progress in this whole week of racing?
Well, I guess I'd be a little biased to say that I'm excited to see how what kind of racing we can get with the trucks at Five Flags, because that's not a combination we normally see. You kind of talk about all these dirt vehicles on dirt. We see that, and yeah, we do see trucks, race short tracks, but Five Flags, such a rare combination, especially on a sim. I'm intrigued to see how that will go on Thursday.
I know some of the leagues we've covered in the past, while we didn't cover the races that went to Five Flags, I know Nork, for example, has run at Five Flags before. I know it's something that leagues do on occasion with, NASCAR National Series vehicles or even ARCA cars. So I know it's not entirely out of the ordinary. And of course, being open setup, I'm excited to see how things go with the NASCAR Craftsman trucks now. The eNASCAR Craftsman trucks, I should say, at Five Flags Speedway on Thursday evening at 6:30 Eastern. That's important to note. If you're a driver out there wanting to run trucks, it is a half hour earlier, as we do have, of course, the North American Racing League Thursday evening as well at 8:30 Eastern from VIR. I think I'm looking forward to tour mods, late model stocks. Those are kind of my bread and butter in real life, but that is nothing against any one of these other cars. I'm also excited to see how big blocks do tomorrow night. Those are usually pretty fun here at Volusia. 410s should be fun as well, and late models on Friday should be exciting. So a lot of great racing just all around to see the rest of this week here on Pit Stop TV. If you don't follow us on social media just yet, I highly recommend doing so. You can see some links at the bottom of your screen currently where we are located on socials, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitch, which shares the same handle as Instagram. So it's facebook.com/pitstoptv, twitter.com/pitstoptv_. On Instagram and Twitch, both, it is at pit_stop_TV. And then over on YouTube, you can search Pit Stop TV, Pit Stop TV1, or just go to youtube.com/C twitch.tv/pitstoptv1. That will do it for the Legends race here at Volusia Speedway Park tonight. We have midgets coming up next. Do not go anywhere. Trust me, do not change that dial. If anything, just go to the kitchen, grab some snacks quickly, grab a cold beverage, and come right back here in a moment. We've got messages from our partners, including Elite Performance Industries, and more racing coming up next. Welcome back to the virtual Volusia Speedway Park as we welcome you back in for continuing coverage from Volusia for EPI Speedweek. And this is the first time Elite Performance Industries is doing something like this. And Emerson, I'd say it's a success so far. We could use a few more cars, so registration is still open the rest of the week. Whether you want to run big blocks tomorrow, 410s tomorrow, or even trucks on Thursday at Five Flags Speedway. We also have pro late models and super late models right back here at Volusia on Friday, and then a bunch of modified racing and late model racing from Five Flags on Saturday and Sunday. Still plenty of time to get signed up, and it feels like a party so far, Emerson.
Absolutely. We had a great race just a few moments ago here at Volusia Speedway Park with the Dirt Legends. We're back at it again with the Dirt Midgets, and this is a car I am not familiar with very much here on the sim. Of course, you know, famous and known for, you know, being ran in the Chili Bowl, but should be a fun time. You know, the open wheel setup of these cars is going to make it really hard to you know, kind of run up on one another, but I'm sure we're going to have some great racing.
Let's take a look once more at our track map here for Volusia. There's not a whole lot really to talk about. It is just a half-mile oval. It has a bit of a curved back straightaway, and the midget fast lap time here is set by Anthony Lopresto. It's a 1585. That's what these guys are chasing. They're currently at 1687, 1695. So a little ways off of that mark, but still time to gain some speed here in qualifying as Cody Parmley leads practice, and we tick on over into the qualifying session. 7 cars, it looks like, for our midget race this evening. Matthew Boniface makes the call for this one as well as Mason Coffey, Jordan Corinne, Angel Ortega, and let's see, we see Mike Pachinka, we see Cody Parmley, and Brandon Veers. First on track, it's going to be Jordan Corin in car 55.
Coming out here in the Alex Bowman inspired livery there, and Jordan Gordon letting her rip here. Going around to start the first timed lap. Be right on board.
And to be clear, just like in that Legends race, after a bit of a nearly catastrophic issue with our ATVO graphics, want to be clear, we have Joker hats on the screen. This is our Rallycross sticker. Apparently this is the one that works today. Our normal ticker is not, so we'll have that fixed up for tomorrow with big blocks and sprint cars. But Corin fastest so far in that Alex Bowman Racing number 55, or actually 55 paint scheme, but 77 on track, as he's quick through 3 and 4 once again to finish up his qualifying time. Let's see if that lap is any faster. That lap is a 17:14, and it is indeed faster. Emerson, now Angel Ortega hits the board.
Ortega put it second quickest at a 17:34, and oh, that's a big one there. Collecting the water, 2 up and over goes the 5 machine, and well, I'm
got
going
to start to the
that's
flip
a
count.
reset. Yep.
Here's Brandon Veers in car 4. And he was quick first lap out. He went straight to pole. Second lap, is it any faster? It looks like the answer to that question is no. Cody Parmley on track, lap 1. And I know onboards aren't usually used in Legend Car Racing, or not Legend Car Racing, well, yeah, Legend Cars, but also Midget Racing. I feel like this adds a little bit to the perspective as Parmley goes purple that time, a 16.902.
My goodness, they are quick around here, and I agree, Andrew. These onboards, it kind of shows you just how much counter steer put into these things on dirt. You don't really understand how much you're really counter steering there from this outside angle. You know, that doesn't look like all that much, but when you are on board and you're seeing the wheel almost 90 degrees to the side of the car, you are really getting after it.
This angle shows it as well. You're looking straight back at the outside wall in the middle of the corner as Mason Coffey runs his first lap. Here's lap number 2. He's already about a half second off of pole on Parmley. And you can see that there on the bottom right of your screen. He is 4.5 tenths off. He picks up a little bit of time. Now 2.5 tenths off as he goes 5th in qualifying. Mike Pachinka now on track in car 55. Truly car 55. As he's got a 55 on his car. We have 3 55s in the race, and Pachinka's quick. 2nd right away.
And I have a hard time believing we're going to miss Pachinka with that neon highlighter yellow number 55 machine with the green number on it. Very much going to be able to spot that thing from a mile away. And it'll be a 17.09 basically for Pachinka, who falls down to 3rd.
He does not go any faster. He will stay in the 3rd position. And, well, we'll start then from the 3rd position as Urkolani is not in our field. He is our admin once again this evening. We talked about it earlier, upcoming broadcasts even after tonight here at Volusia Speedway Park. Tomorrow we continue here at Volusia. We've got big blocks, we've got 410s. It's going to be exciting.
Absolutely, and again, the fun continues on Thursday with the doubleheader with Five Flag Speedway with the NASCAR trucks taking on the Five Flag Speedway again. Going to be a fun time, a rare combination. Then North American Race League at VAR in its current sim form, I guess its old form, to real life, and we'll get to see Oak Tree one last time for round number 2 of the North American Racing League 4th GT3 season.
And of course, this is just night 2 of Speed Week. This graphic only takes you through night 4. We'll still have 3 more broadcasts for Elite Performance Industry Speed Week, and I think everything is going to pick up. We had kind of a fun night of racing last night. We're kicking off the dirt portion tonight, and it's kind of that, again, smaller scale, kind of fun racing, but it's going to pick up for sure. We have some serious cars tomorrow with big blocks and 410s, and then that NASCAR truck race, I think, is really going to pick things up, and I really expect to see some heavy hitters in there. I don't know if Michael Conti will make an appearance. I know we saw Garrett Maines earlier. I know Michael Conti is a big part of the setup building program here for Elite Performance Industries, but if we see guys like that in the NASCAR race, NASCAR truck race, we're going to have a good time for sure. Here is our starting grid presented this evening to you by Whiplash Media SimCams. On pole, Cody Parmley in car 16, very quick, dipping down into the 16.9s. Brandon Veers will go second quick, and we'll start from the second position in car 4. Starting third, it is the true 95 of Mike Pychinka. Matthew Boniface starts from 4th position. Starting 5th, it's Jordan Corrin in car 77. Mason Coffey starts from 6th tonight, and Angel Ortega will be the final starter in the field, Emerson. And let's check out some of those onboards we were talking about a little bit earlier. This nose camera, I think, is actually pretty important because we'll be able to see these guys really get up on each other and the inside wall in some cases. This is on the front nose of the car, just behind that push bar.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a fun shot tonight. Of course, we saw a lot of chaos down to turn 1 on the initial start in the last race, so I'm sure if there's incidents down there, these will be some fun replays to look at. From the rear end of Cody Parmley, I'm having a feeling we're going to look at this a lot tonight with how quickly he was in qualifying, and you'll see if anybody does try to contest with Parmley, they'll have to go through that rear end first.
This is up on one of the top roll bars, one of the roll hoops here on the dirt midget, looking straight down just about. I think it's a good kind of perspective in general, and we have more. We can keep on going through the list. This is off the left side of the car, almost a driver's perspective. This is looking back from the driver's perspective, so when these guys get sideways, I think this will be a really valuable camera angle. We, of course, have another roll bar shot that is just behind the driver. We have one that is on the right side of the driver that I think is going to get a lot of use tonight, and, of course, one looking back from the right side of the driver at the outside wall and whatever else they get to see. It seems like all 7 cars, yes, all 7 cars have gridded up and are ready to go as they will roll off of the starting grid. Once again, Parmley, Veers, Pychinka, that's the order out front. Boniface will start from 4th, and don't tell me we've got these guys stalling.
Oh no. Andrew, I don't even own this car on the sim, so I have no idea.
It does look like they're having trouble getting going. I would not have expected this. That's not Pychinka, that is Corrin down on the bottom of the track. I think he's just trying to get started. That car, I don't know if he's just set up to... yeah, I think it's just the setup.
Yeah,
he just does
rolling.
not want to get off the line, but he does get off the line now. And, we'll catch back up to the field and start from 5th. That was definitely one of the more unique sights, getting a car going off of the grid, but Corrin will join the field. Let's take a look at our weather conditions. We saw a pretty warm race for race 1, and it's still about the same temperature.
Yeah, the temperature not going to play a big factor tonight. The track temp is noticeably cooler. It may allow for, or may maybe cause some trouble with these drivers kind of finding some slide to the corner. But the winds at 8 miles an hour for these small little cars, that may also be a factor tonight.
40 laps straight up, that is the race. That's All these guys have to do, we might get a few cautions, who knows. But they work out of turn number 4, and green flag is out for the Legends from Volusia. Corin already up top, 4 wide in the back. And that is Boniface straight to the rear of the field, and we're not even through lap 1. Corin pushing the cushion way up top.
Yeah, we saw Boniface, unfortunately, suffer the same fate on the restart last race as well. Boniface was looking to the outside of Folds and then found himself quickly dropping down to running order. Pachinka right now trying to fend off Mason Coffee. Near contact, Coffee to the inside.
Car 24 pulls down to the inside of car 55, side by side between the two EPI midgets through turns 1 and 2. Slide job that time out of Coffee. He moves up the track as Pachinka slides back in below. Parmley, fastest lap that time through as the leaders stay close, but not close enough to fight. Mason Coffee and Mike Pachinka, that's the real fight.
Despite the massive correction last lap, Coffee clears Pachinka, holds on to third, and now has his sights set on Veers and Parmley up the road. But we'll see if they get to battling. That may be the only key that allows Coffee to close up here. We'll see here about working lap number 5 of 40.
Mason Coffee that time, fastest lap on the racetrack. Ortega and Corin, they're battling down the back straightaway to turn number 3. It looks like Coffee's going to get away from Pachinka, but this is the fight for 5th as Corin's going to take it away. Is this the fight of the fake 55 cars, maybe, as Corin has scored a 77, Ortega scored as 5, as it seems like 55 is a popular number. We have 3 55s in a 7-car race.
That is a lot of 5s, and they're going at it for P5 as we ride on board with Ortega. Ortega losing a little touch there to Corin down the front straightaway there, and Corin continuing to try to open that gap now, and maybe Corin just trying to find his footing here in the early stages. Ortega looking to do the same, but continuously dropping now from the 77.
Mason Coffee is getting quicker, and he's running down the number 4 of Veers. Slowly making up time, and boy does he need to as he sits in 3rd place right now. We're not even 10 laps into this race. We've already seen a lot happen as we do have a caution on track. Angel Ortega is backwards in the... Actually, he is on his lid. Oh, boy.
Oh, no, not again.
Add 1 to the flip count.
Flip count 2, drivers 1. Ortega not having the best of time in these midgets here at Volusia. Has to take the tow. We'll get the replay.
Through turns 3 and 4, just tags the inside wall, and right up and over he goes.
That's so easy to do, Andrew, with the open wheels. Any bit of contact that's not the traditional, racing surface, and these cars go flying just like that.
Well, yeah, we see a flip count at the Chili Bowl for a reason, as up and over, and Ortega goes for a tumble. These cars are also really, really light. They have wheels that stick out from them that like to hit things, catch on things, bounce around, and they're just apt to flipping, much like sprint cars, but maybe even a little bit worse with how light they are. This is another look. In fact, let's go on board with Ortega for this, and does a little dance, a little pirouette up in the air.
Yep, dance, dirt, sky, dirt, sky, dirt, sky. Not typically the view you want to see in a quick succession like that.
So Parmley the leader, and this is an opportunity for these guys to save a little bit of fuel, keep a little bit of weight in the car as well, but you also might want to burn a little bit of fuel and try to have a little bit less weight in the car. I wonder if there's any concern about that, or if these guys are really just pacing and letting the car kind of coast a little bit. But regardless, Parmley the leader, then it is Veers, Coffee, Pachinka, and Corin your top 5. Boniface also in the pacing field as Ortega sits in the pit lane. I believe that car should be okay. I don't think he got too much damage, Emerson, but has to take the tow, which is the big problem.
Yeah, and that tow, if that happened out of Ford, not that long of a tow, but of course, once you fall a lap or 2 behind here, it's going to be really hard to gain that back. I have a question, Andrew. Are these cars single gear cars, or are there multiple gears?
Yes, and that's part of the problem as far as them getting off the line like that, because they want to do wheelies sometimes, but also They don't have starters. They don't have. I mean, this is essentially just like a sprint car, but in a smaller form. That's why it's called a midget. But yes, single gear. It's just drive forward and go as we go back. Green flag here until lap 13 of 40. Side by side, Coffee has the jump on the floor. Veers and Veers hits the inside wall, and we've got a crash.
Everybody collects of things, but Veers goes straight from near the front to the back in one quick move there. I think he just caught the inside wall and went for a spin. Unfortunately, also collected another vehicle in that.
We're going to look here on board with Brandon Veers off the restart. Parmley got a jump on him, as did Coffee. So Veers goes down to the inside and tries to take that second spot back away, but catches the inside wall right there, and that just brings him around, collects one other car. Thankfully, they stay on all four wheels, and that was Jordan Corrin that got a piece of the 4 car.
So a quick little spin and back going again for both Corrin and Veers. Here's a replay from Corrin's on board.
You see forward down way to the bottom, catches the inside wall, and at that point there's nowhere for Corrin to go. Pounds him, and you can see actually this is a great shot of it. That bumper is all kinds of beat up now for the 77, but really no concern. That's not going to be any kind of issue for him. Just shows that definitely there was a front impact at some point. Angel Ortega is back on track in car 5, 55, whatever you want to call it. In the orange car we'll go with, and I think waiting on a wave around. He is 4 laps down. We'll see if admins try to get him a few extra laps. I don't think that's going to be the case. So he will now be 3. Actually, no, still 4 laps down. So he was 5 laps down, Emerson. That's a difficult one for him to swallow. That said, I always say it's difficult, kind of catastrophic to his race. We could see 4 cautions. I don't think it's all that crazy to imagine that we see 4 cautions in the remainder of this race. That said, we are now to single file restarts as we near lap 17 for the restart of this race. Still just over half the race to go for the midgets here at Fallujah. Green flag is back out. A nice and orderly restart to this race, and into turn number 3, it's Parmley and Coffee out front.
Coffee trying to find his way around there to Parmley. Pachinka holding station there in third over Corrin, who went for the spin just a couple moments ago. Veers wants to work his way through the field, but has a long way to go to even catch Corrin and Pachinka. Right there, Coffee really closing the gap there to Parmley. Can't do much with it at the moment.
Watching the rear view camera here from Parmley's perspective.
Coffee
and we'll lose graphics here for a second. You know what, Emerson, I got into such a habit of hitting the same ticker over and over for the last few months. I hit the wrong ticker that time on the restart. That apparently bricks up the overlay, so we'll get that back up for you guys. But this is a heck of a battle to watch, even from the onboard perspective, as Coffee now has a run to the inside, and they're going to be side by side into turn 1.
Yeah, Coffee looks like he's a little more comfortable attacking the entry at a corner. Parmley just kind of holding station there. Now Coffee to the inside. Looks to slide up on entry. Can't get it done yet. Parmley still holding station up high, and now cleared his Coffee to the point.
Move car 24 out front of car 16 now, as Parmley's going to have to regroup in that blue midget. For 3 and 4 in that time, and he digs the bottom, actually gaining a lot of time there on exit, but is he able to hold that? I think that was a bit of a gain. I do think that bottom line for Parmley is a little better if he can maintain it.
But it's so hard to keep yourself disciplined down there, not cut too much, not hit that wall, not overdrive the bottom of the corner. Because of the speeds these cars are going, I'm imagining there's much more lift into the corners as opposed to the legend cars, so a little bit more precision required to really nail that bottom line.
And we're going to try and get the ticker here for you. Well, we'll see if it ends up wanting to work for us. It might not, unfortunately. We're just having the worst gremlins this evening, but here we go. From the top cam, we can watch these guys go at it.
And Parmley just doesn't feel like he has kind of that drive on entry to kind of really send it there on Coffee. Had that pace, of course, to start up front and hold station up front, but Coffee just looks more like he more is feeling the entry to corners. But we're getting to that point here where the track's going to go through a big change, and it may fall into the direction of one driver or another. And Parmley is still very much in this battle. He's still right there, and can still have a say in this race.
On board here with Parmley now, as we work lap 27 onto 28. Parmley, it looks like going purple at a 16:9.88. Times are picking up. And he's got the race leader to turn 3 by a nose. They're side by side fighting for it. Through 3 and 4. To the line, it looks like it's still Coffee, but only just.
And Coffee's doing a phenomenal job keeping the speed up, keeping the momentum up on that high side. Parmley continues to attack down on the bottom, and oh, we got a car in trouble. That's Veers.
Brandon Veers, car 4 with an issue. And for a moment, his left rear was rather sunk into the dirt. It looks okay now, but he may have to come in and pit and get service on that car and might be done for the day. We'll see. He goes right past pit entry, so I'm really confused as to what the issue is. If actually he catches back up to the field, he might be okay. I don't know, but we'll go back and get a look at it. The left rear was sunk way into the dirt for a moment.
Yeah, I feared there for Veers. Looked like maybe a broken piece there to the left rear of the car. Veers riding along here.
That's in turn 1, just pounds the inside wall with his nose and does a quick spin, gets back going.
Well, he's gotten that inside wall once before. That time was much, much harder. The spins up the track, definitely the detection that iRacing picked up for the full course caution. There, wow, that was a big hit to the left front.
Just entered a bit too low in turn number 1. This does give Angel Ortega an opportunity to grab another lap. He is now 3 laps down, and we could still see 3 yellows. In fact, we will get 3 green-white checkers if needed all speed week long. So this race not over, even if you're Angel Ortega 3 laps down in 7th.
And that's why you stay in these things. You keep fighting just in case stuff does fall into your lap. And well, we're gonna get a restart here, and it looks like it's a single file restart. This gives Pachinka, Korin, and the rest of the guys a little bit of a chance here if this track is falling into their favor.
We will have some 8 laps to go when we take the green flag. Parmley ready to go. He pulls down to the inside. Now Coffee will fire. Green flag is back out for the midgets at Volusia. Quickly a fight for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as Korin puts pressure on Pachinka, and Pachinka puts pressure on Parmley. But they will take now 7 laps to go by the stripe.
That little correction there in 3 and 4 for Parmley may be enough to keep Pachinka and Korin involved and engaged in this fight. And Pachinka really working towards the high side, now trying to get a nice arc into the corner, and now having to deal with Korin more than anything. They continue on, 6 laps to go.
A really cool view here is we have this view from the drone. Pachinka way up the racetrack at a turn 2, runs a little bit extra distance before the 3rd corner. That slows him down just a little bit as Parmley reels in our race leader just a little bit. Gaining a little bit here on Mason Coffee as we've got 5 laps to go. Just 5 more chances for Parmley here for the race win.
And Coffee had that very shallow line into turn 1. Had to check up big time there at the center of the corner. That allowed Parmley to really close the gap, and the pressure continues to be piled on. Now, 4 laps to go. Parmley a huge drive to the center of the corner. Coffee trying to hold everything down on that bottom side.
Coffee's not carrying the same speed through the corner that he was earlier, and that time through 1 and 2 it was evident. Pachinka and Korin, they fall back as now in a battle with Veers as the 77 of Korin. Just 3 laps to go out front from Mason Coffee, trying to hold off Cody Parmley. He's done so since taking the race lead, but 2 laps to go, and Parmley keeps getting closer. It's 2 to go officially this time by popsicle sticks in the air.
Coffee has calmed down the entries at the corner, and Parmley is not as
Here we go.
aggressive. Well, here he goes. He's having to run to the outside, trying to see if he has anything for Coffee, sending her again to the outside.
It'll be white flag this time by in the air, presented by Whiplash Simcams for your race leaders. Parmley with a fantastic opportunity. He's going to drive to the outside of Mason Coffee, but can he get there properly in 3 and 4? High, wide, and handsome is Cody Parmley. A drag race to the start finish, and Coffee will take the win in the midgets.
Great finish there. Pachinka veers over Corin there, the rest of the top 5. And what a drive from Coffee to chase down Parmley, make the overtake, and then feel that pressure of that final restart. Face off with Parmley and the rest of his competitors. Hold on.
And Coffee is going to get himself dizzy and park it here on the front stretch. Yeah, if wow, if you're motion sick, look away.
Oh my goodness.
That is one way to celebrate for sure. I mean, I've never seen a Cyclone quite that nice on iRacing before. When did iRacing add Monster Jam? Because, I mean, that is a perfect Cyclone. And he will come to a stop finally in the pit lane. But Mason Coffee, a well-deserved Cyclone down the front stretch.
That was fantastic.
Never seen anything quite like it on the sim before, but I appreciate it nonetheless. Let's take a look at your unofficial race results this evening from the midgets at Volusia. And there you go. Mason Coffee out front over Cody Parmley. Who says you can't have an exciting 7-car race?
I don't know, but it was pretty exciting. Even all throughout the field, Pachinka and Corin had great battles all day. It's Pachinka who gets the upper hand there. Veers, who went from up there fighting Parmley for the lead, falls all the way back, has 2 incidents. He'll come home with the 4th place finish. Corin back to 5th. Boniface again starts near the front and then finds his way working backwards there to be 6th. 3 laps off the pace for Angel Ortega and finishes 7th.
20 laps led, exactly half the race for Mason Coffee. I dare say Cody Parmley got the other 20 laps led tonight. Let's bring in Mason Coffee, who comes away with the race win and a bit of cash as well. Mason, first off, I gotta ask, how do you pull off that kind of cyclone and not throw up?
I'm not looking at the screen.
Just close your eyes and pin it. I like it. But 20 laps led, you lead exactly half the race here. How did you get by Cody Parmley in the first place?
I think he was just trying to save his fuel, so I had to take advantage of it fast before he just full sent it at the very end of the race. He was probably faster than me, but it's just hard to get around people at this track.
It is definitely hard to pass people here at Volusia, especially in a midget where you're so on throttle just trying to keep it pinned. So how important is it to get that pass made early and hang on and do everything you can to take lines away?
It is very important to get it done very early to keep your momentum up front as much as you can.
Well, there you go. Mason Coffee gets a bit of cash this evening, gets a race win here in the midgets. And Mason, are you going to make the big blocks, the 410s, or even the late models here on Friday?
Since I got some money back, I probably will be in the 410s.
There you go. Mason Coffee going to try and go back-to-back 410s tomorrow. We'll see you there. Then, Mason, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
It's a race win for car 24 this evening. How about Mike Pachinka, who comes away with a 3rd place finish here, Emerson? Here he is.
And a 3rd place finish for Mike Pachinka. And couldn't miss you tonight in that highlighter yellow machine. Mike, tell us about your race, the entire 40 lap.
It was kind of just watching them two up front deal with each other. I'm just hanging on. Them two are pretty fast, so it was going to take a good car to pass them.
Looking like a bunch of that race as well. You were starting to get your mirrors full, or Corin was trying to pile on the pressure on you there. Were you feeling any of that? How were you hanging on in that battle with Jordan Corin?
I saw him a little bit once or twice on the restarts. After that, as soon as we got some green flag laps in, I kind of pulled away from him and just was running my own line, and I knew it was going to take a lot for him to pass me. So,
well, great 3rd place finish for you tonight, Mike. Do we plan on seeing you in any other events this week?
I don't have any plans. Maybe the 410s. I'm not sure yet if I can get in or not.
But there you go. Third place finish there for Mike Pachinka. Great race tonight. Congratulations on the podium. Best luck to you if you do decide to run the 410s.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it.
Pretty solid effort there for car 55 for sure. And, that quickly wraps things up. Emerson, from night 2 here for EPI Speed Week. And, we were talking about some ideas earlier potentially for maybe future iterations of this Speed Week, but I think in general, you have to look at the fact that while, yes, car counts might be a little bit light, that tends to be the case in events like this. They have to get off the ground somehow, and sometimes you just need that first run to get going. But I really feel like there's going to be a lot of energy later in the week once the newness of some of the new content wears off, and we get to racing with things like the eNASCAR trucks, even the dirt late models here on Friday, and especially the pavement races on Saturday and Sunday, the SK modifieds, the Tour modifieds, the late model stocks, and the super late models. There's a lot of energy, especially for those late models and modifieds.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun to see those cars back, get some racing. A good bit of dirt racing and show some love to these disciplines that don't really get a whole bunch of recognition in the race community and in the sim community, and have a little fun on this week 13.
And of course, if you are preparing for 2023 Season 1 on iRacing.com, head on over to Elite Performance Industries, head on over to RaceEPI.com to grab your setup packs for this upcoming season of racing, whether it's for street stocks like we saw last night, or midgets like we see on track now, or even dirt legends that we saw a little bit ago. A bunch of setups, and I actually have used plenty of the dirt legend setups before when I wanted to run those. This is what I like to run sometimes. I don't race very often, but when I do, I like to run those dirt legend cars, and they are a lot of fun. So I would certainly recommend those setups built by some of the legend drivers here at the team for Elite Performance Industries. I really do appreciate their effort, especially with legend car racing and everything else they do at EPI, and it's a really commendable, I think, just effort in general. But let's take a look at upcoming broadcasts again here on Pit Stop TV, not only for EPI Speed Week, but also just for the channel in general. And Emerson, we've seen this graphic a few times. Let's talk about it one more time, though. Tomorrow night, December the 7th, we have, at 7 p.m. Eastern, more racing here at Fallujah. It is Big Block Mods and 410 time in just about 22 and a half hours.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a fun one tonight. Some powerful beasts coming to Volusia tomorrow night, and then of course we have the trucks on Thursday, which is again I'm very excited for that combination because we just don't see all that often. And of course VAR one last time here with the North American Racing League in its current form on the sim for round 2 on the 4th season of GT3 action for the North American Racing League.
Of course, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all of the action continues on here with EPI Speed Week. A big thank you to those of you who have watched throughout the course of the evening, whether it was live or recorded later on. We certainly do appreciate it, as do our partners here with Pit Stop TV, Whiplash Media Simcams, SimRapMarket.com, and Permanent Makeup in Cryo in Maine. And, well, so does Elite Performance Industries. They certainly appreciate, there we go, your viewership throughout the course of the night. 2 fantastic races, and I cannot wait to see where this week goes and how many more cars we get and who else shows up for some of these races. That surprise performance, that surprise appearance, I should say, from Garrett Maines was certainly welcomed in the Dirt Legends, but we will see you throughout the course of the week, hopefully tomorrow night, as we take big blocks and 410s on the dirt here once again at Fallujah. We certainly hope to see you there. If not, hopefully we see you for the North American Racing League potentially on Thursday night at 8:30 Eastern from VIR with GT3 cars. However, have a great night, and we will see you next time.